What's going on, guys? Joel coming to you with a bit of an update. 2 years ago I ended up having to get rid of the Evo, and so that's why I haven't had any content for you guys. I did get some videos that I didn't end up editing, but never got to doing that. I do want to give you a bit of an update as to what I've currently got going on here. So while I had the Evo, I ended up getting a 1995 Eclipse GST Spider. So that's the convertible 4G63 Eclipse, and I got an automatic for when I had shoulder surgery for afterwards, so I actually had something I could drive. And so naturally, after I recuperated, I ended up getting rid of that. So I've wanted to get back into another DSM, it's the Eclipse, and so I did end up getting one. Now, I made a big mistake, and this is something that you guys should never do. Don't buy a car sight unseen. So I ended up buying this 1998 Eclipse GST sight unseen. I had it shipped in from Oregon, and the car was supposed to be a good runner, supposed to be great, with some aftermarket goodies on it and everything. And there are a few aftermarket parts I'll have to show you, but as you saw, there is the front mount intercooler, but I got no engine in it right now. So the previous owner, he said that it was a 6-bolt block with a 7-bolt head, which was fully built. He said he did the timing belt, all that other stuff. And it's got time coilovers and a few different aftermarket parts and everything. And was supposed to be running good. Well, I got it here. And being Oregon, I don't know with the change in altitude if that caused an issue with the air-fuel ratio. But it was running really rich when I had it here. And it drove like crap. The coilovers were actually so far down that the passenger front the fender was sitting on the tire. So it bent up the fender a little bit when I was pulling it off of the trailer and then taking it home. So have that issue. And then, like I said, it was running really rich. I didn't have an AFR gauge that was working correctly. So I ended up getting an AFR gauge, get it in there, and saw that it was in fact running rich. And then, so I drove it a little bit, but I went to turn it on one day and it was dragging and not wanting to start. So I said, screw it, I'm going to pull out the motor, I'm going to go through everything, make sure it's all good. So that's why the motor currently is out. I'll give you guys a little bit of a walk around here. I've currently got it in the storage unit because winter's coming about and don't want it sitting outside, but he had some pretty crappy aftermarket wheels on it that have some curb rash. Got stretched tires. There's that damage on the fender that I know. It just bent it a bit, so I can easily fix that with rolling the fenders, but that's how I'm going to take care of that. The previous owner did paint it purple, and he did a bit of a Hulk theme with that green on the mirrors, and the front mount was actually green as well, but I painted that black because I'm going to get rid of the Hulk theme. It looks really stupid, so get rid of that. I'll probably eventually sand it all down, repaint it, because I don't like the paint job that the guy did was pretty bad. There's orange peel everywhere. There's runs. You could tell that this is a rebuilt titled car. You can tell that he put, I don't know if you could see it with the lighting in here, but he ended up bondoing the passenger door. He did have the GSX wing on it, which is the all-wheel drive version, which is pretty nice. But let's see about getting in here so we can show you a little bit about the inside. Has a sunroof, which is something I definitely wanted on it. But I have the interior torn apart here. I did have the passenger door card off because I had to fix the passenger door handle. Driver's window doesn't work, so I have that door card off. So I need to get in there and check to see if it's the motor in the window. And he did have aftermarket steering wheel on there, a quick release one. So I don't like the steering wheel. It's an energy one, but it's like that kind of rainbow flake type deal. Not a big fan of that. And then the radio wasn't working. So there was that. And then the brake lights and right rear turn signal was not working, so I ended up chasing it down and finding out that the blinker module inside the dash was also out, so I ended up replacing that. But yeah, that is the shell. Like I said, I want to to just go through everything. I'm going to sand it down, probably repaint it eventually. That passenger door, I'm either going to replace it or try to fix that because of the Bondo job. Like I said, this is a rebuilt title car. The frame rails and the center of the car kind of tweaked a little bit, so you can tell that it was in a pretty big wreck. But other than that, like, it had no issues with it, so we'll just build from that platform. It is rust free, so that is the biggest draw that brought me to it. Like I said, though, make sure to check a vehicle out before you buy it. Don't buy sight unseen. Big mistake that I made, that learned my lesson the hard way from, so I just want to make sure you guys don't make that same mistake. But I'll take you to the house. I've got the engine on a stand there, so I'll show you that, all that's going on with that, and then I have all the other parts at the house as well, so I'll take you through a rundown of that and show you guys what's going on and what I've got that I'm working on. And I do also, actually, while I've got you here at the storage unit, I ended up picking up a bike. It's a 2022 Ninja 400 ABS. It's a fun bike, you know. It's my first street bike, so it was a good starter. It is quick, but, you know, being a 400, it's not extremely fast. You know, after a while you get used to it and you want to continue going up. Just like with cars, you want to keep adding to it. So that's another toy that I got. And my daily right now is a hatchback WRX. So I ended up picking this up a couple months ago. But this is going to be the daily while I build the Eclipse. So this is by no means perfect, but like I said, it's a daily car. So I'll take you guys over to the garage, show you the engine and what I've got going on. Alright guys, so this is what I've got going on with the motor here. So I pulled off the intake and the exhaust manifolds. Like I said, previous owner did a Hulk theme, green and purple. Looks really stupid. And there's a few different broken bolts around here. There's one inside the block there. There's a broken bolt inside the head. Pretty much the previous owner did some real, I guess you could say, janky stuff with this. I mean, I've got it on the stand real bad here. Not all of it was wanting to line up right. So, but yeah, so what my thought was to build the engine, but looking at, you know, availability of parts, a lot of parts are back ordered quite a bit. I either have to buy them from someone or, you know, wait. And I don't always trust buying from people online or anything. There's the few people online that, you know, I've dealt with before that, you know, I'd trust getting parts from, but it's a matter of the parts and availability and everything. So that was my first option, was to build this one. Second one was to drop in a 2.3 liter stroker, 6-bolt that someone that I know has on the east side of the state. And so that was a pretty intriguing idea. Only problem with that is a lot more money. So it's a matter of, you know, the funds for it. But yeah, so that's the second option. And then the third would be to just tear this motor apart, check to see as to, you know, if anything's wrong with it, if everything's looking good and straight, and if I might need to replace a part or two. Make sure to go over the crank, see if the crank looks good, resurface the head. That's probably the route that I'm going to go for now, and then maybe get those parts ordered up. And while I wait on those parts, just so I can get the engine back into the car and start driving it again. Like I said, I plan on doing a full build and restoration and everything on this, so it'll take some time to get it to 100% perfect, but, you know, I'll get it to the point where I want it at some point here, and just will take some time, and like I said, availability parts, so we'll get that taken care of. But yeah, so that's the engine. Like I said, the previous owner said that the head was fully gone through and built. Like I said, I just want to make sure and go through and check that. He did say that it had 272 cams in it, so we'll see about that. And then the aftermarket parts that came on it were, it was a stock intake manifold, but it had an S90 throttle body, and then it had aftermarket tubular manifold and a little bit of a larger turbo, the TD05H, I think from the Evos. So it had all those different aftermarket parts on it, so it was pushing a little bit more. And he had it black box tuned, and I plan to probably go with a standalone ECU, either that or end up going with the DSM link because of being able to get it tuned. Not many people tune on the black box anymore, and if I were to go with either a standalone or with DSM link, it would make it a lot easier to get that dialed in and everything. Like I said, it was running rich, so I want to get it running good before I try adding any power or anything to it. So maybe I'll just end up sending it to the moon, blow up this motor, and get a new one in. But I'll take you along with that. I still am up in the air into everything what I'm going to be doing to it. I may want to all-wheel drive swap it while I've got the engine out. Get a new all-wheel drive transmission, transfer case, all of that. I do need to go through the wiring harness because the wiring wasn't 100% on it. The guy snipped a lot of the different harnesses and stuff, and the speedometer was only working half the time, and a lot of just little things with it. And so, like I said, kind of up in the air as to the route I'm going with all of it. But yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see, and we will see you next time.